of the things, negotiate all that. We are used to that. So we build a social e-commerce, a social plus e-commerce where they can come to the platform, you're able to interact. The big e-commerce platforms that we have existing doesn't allow that provision. You go there, you see something, you click, you add to cart, and then you buy. You're not able to negotiate with the buyer. You are not allowed to do that for the big e-commerce platform. So we build a platform, Africa being it is, using the same concept. Like you go to Computer Village, being a market, you go there, the seller go there, get a shop in the market, and is in charge of his shop. The buyer comes to the market and goes to the shop, meets with the seller, make interaction, and then he gets a deal. So we take the same experience online where the sellers can get the platform, a shop on the platform and deal directly with the sellers. We also discovered that if that happens, there's going to be issue of trust, fraud. So we provide another solution, the buyer protection guarantee between the buyer and the seller. So our platform stands as a third-party guarantee. Okay, so when you are buying, you negotiate, right? The buyer negotiates with the seller, and then you go ahead and add to cart, but you don't pay to the seller until you have received what you paid for. So we bring that experience. Then for the drop shipping, we provide a system that is something that is suitable for Nigeria, not exactly what is happening on Amazon. Okay, we have a warehouse, our own warehouse, where people get the products from suppliers. The suppliers bring their products on our website, on our warehouse. The dropshipper pick the item from the warehouse, so you don't need to look. Those of us that understand dropshipping, okay. So we already provide products and suppliers for you. All you need to do is to go to our warehouse, get the item that you want to sell, go on our platform on Doiba, and then get your store, set up your online store there. So you pick your products from the warehouse, and then you list it for sale, and you put your profit and get a deal. So far, we have gotten a lot of suppliers from China and locally that we are already working with. Now, how big is the market? We discovered that for the business that they are, because we are looking at the space within Africa, there are over 50 million sellers people that can possibly join the platform to do business there, and we are just targeting about a million of them to join as a platform. And then also discover that there are over 42 from Statista.com. As at 2021, the e-commerce spending in Africa is over $42 billion. So it is a huge market, and we have not even started e-commerce in Africa. Okay, now we have already built the marketplace. It is already running. Doiba.com has been launched, and it is working. We have spent, putting resources and both finances and manpower. We have developed a platform that is user friendly. Yeah, for now we are using a web app. Our mobile app will be launched very soon. It's a very mobile friendly Doiba.com solution that we have already built. What makes us different, number one, is that we are building a global market for small and medium entrepreneurs in Africa. The Africa Continental Free Trade Zone has been launched, and it is already running. So they have collapsed the continental boundaries in Africa. So Africa has a market of over 1 billion people. The banks in Africa, working with the African Continental Bank, they are trying to, bring up a currency. West Africa is already, spearheading that, and other countries are coming on board. So we are looking at a situation where someone should be in Nigeria, order something from Kenya, you pay for it and get delivered. So we are building a platform where people can do business across Africa. And then sellers on Doiba.com, they get their own online store. The same thing is a market. Like someone go to Computer Village and be in a market, get a shop. It's your shop, and you do your business. You upload your item, your banner, your information. You're in charge of your store to do business there. So we also allow this interaction because, of course, we live in a social world. People want to interact. They want to ask, oh, I see this shoe. It is white, but I would have preferred black. oh, I see this sheet is 15,000 naira, but won't you pay 13,000 naira? You know, Africans, they like that. So we allow that experience. And then in all this, we allow trade assurance. That is the buyer protection guarantee, because of the trust issue. It's a very major issue. So we take care of that. We are heavy on it. We are heavy on the trust issue. And then we discover also that there are a lot of people that produce things in Africa, but people don't know them. They don't have a platform where their voice can be heard. Many of them only sell on the big e-commerce platforms that exist. Those big e-commerce platforms doesn't allow the buyers to meet them. They don't know who they are selling to. They cannot build their brands there. They cannot build their customer base selling on those platforms. So we allow on our own platform that these people, producers, they should have a place, just like what Alibaba did for the Chinese manufacturers. Okay, so little small businesses in producers in China, they are able to produce from the corner of their house, and then they take it to the platform, a global platform, where people are able to see their product, they package them there, and then they buy from them. So we provide that experience for businesses. Now, how we make money? We make money in two ways. Okay, the same way that someone could build a market, people come and hire, rent the shops, and make payments. So we bring that experience, but we also give free. Also, we have a lifetime free package that you can, get your store and you stay there forever. You do business, but depending on how you want to scale, we have a premium and free and paid packages for sellers on the platform. We also take transaction charge, we don't really call it commission. It's a flat transaction charge. Because buyers and sellers are able to communicate, it's possible that at the end of the day, the buyer pay directly to the seller. Okay, but for such transaction, we don't take responsibility for buyer protection. We don't protect you. There's no guarantee. If anything happens, it's up to you. But if the buyer pays to us, to the seller through us, we take transaction charge of just 2% to bring in our buyer protection guarantee service. All right. We have spent substantial, we have launched, we have done a whole lot of things. Before we launched fully last year, 2022, between 2029, before then, 2019 rather, I and my team, we had to, look at the hubs, the key people that we are trying to target. Abia State, Aba, to be very specific, is one place that they have a lot of entrepreneurs. We went there, spent a lot of months and talked to them, go to their chambers of commerce and industry. We went to the markets inside. They talked to a lot of manufacturers there. We came to Lagos. Lagos is a big business place. We spent time and then we talked to them. And then on Alibaba, we've been there. That one actually started since around 2013. We started working on this. Okay, I actually started working on this while I was doing other things. I got interested in this. So I started researching from the businesses on Alibaba, asking them questions, understanding their need before we now developed the website we've launched. And so far, as a date, we have over 200 sellers that we have already onboarded, and the platform is already generating income. This is $1 million. It has actually exceeded this. We have exceeded over 5 million in income, in flow. So right now, we are actually, we have a team, myself. I'm not a developer, so we have someone that writes the codes. Okay, we have 3 people that are working with us. I am the founder. I'm basically a business development person. We have a tech person in the team. But right now, we are actually looking for funding. Okay, we are actually looking for investment right now at this stage. We are looking for investment of something within the range of $200,000 or 100 million naira for us for the growth of the business. So I thank you very much for the time to listen. I'd like to get your feedback. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Okay, so taking questions now, and you can. Okay, so before we continue, please, for those of us at the back, can we move to the front? It's a bit scanty here, so thank you. All right. Okay, you have a question. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so very interesting presentation. Let me focus on your transaction fees. You said 2%, you said sellers. but you said it's a money back guarantee fee, right? So I'm kind of like thinking of the dynamics. It is actually the buyer that is interested in money back guarantee and not necessarily the seller. So I'm kind of like wondering why you're selling that product to a seller, and not to the buyer directly. What is in need for the seller? And what's that 2% money back guarantee fee that you call your transaction fee?
Yeah, thank you very much. From our research, we found that a lot of sellers lose deals. A lot of them are struggling to get deals on Instagram, on social media platforms. Okay, so someone see what he's selling and would love to buy because can't trust him, and then he lose the deal. So for such people, we target them. They come on our platform. Of course, our platform has easy integration. You can integrate it to your social media platform. So where, of course, on every social media platforms, there's a provision to put your website. Okay, so we create, of course, your URL, so you can get your URL to your social platform. Yeah, so someone can click there and come here to buy. So it is covering, instead of losing the deal. Of course, the buyer will not usually want to pay anything extra most of the time, but the seller, the 2%, of course, is nothing compared to him losing the deal. Okay, and then we also, if we put it on the seller, it will discourage, the buyer, it will discourage the buyer from usually wanting Nigerians. We understand the psychology of the market. Okay, we understand the people that we took time to study. The 2% is a big deal. But for the seller to convince the buyer, because the buyer is not paying anything, we are not charging him anything. He wants to get security and you're not paying anything. So he will want to pay through the platform. So that makes business sense for us. We are not charging him, rather the seller. So it's up to the seller to say, because of 2%, I don't want to sell. It's up to him. Another person in the marketplace, go ahead and make the deal.
I get what you're explaining, but I'm still kind of like because what you called it was money back guarantee, right?
No, we call it transaction fee. Transaction fee.
Yeah, so when you were pitching, you said it's a money back guarantee fee. That's why I was backing.
No, it's not money back guarantee. We call it transaction fee. Okay, but we provide buyer protection guarantee. We protect the buyer. We give the buyer guarantee that when you do your business here, so we need to attract the buyer. Buyers to the platform. The buyers here are very key. We cannot bring them to the platform. At the end of the day, we are going to charge them anything extra. So we need the flow of the buyers. You remember we have free plan, lifetime free, where the sellers can stay there. They don't pay the subscription fees, the monthly subscription fees. They can stay there for life and be selling. Can get a free online store on our platform, and you will not need to pay anything all throughout. We're strong on, but we have benefit from it because it will give us traffic. So we've calculated all that, of course. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
No. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
So I have some questions, observations.
Okay.
So first question is this. So you made mention of warehouses.
Okay.
That's correct, yeah?
Yes, for drop shipping, for the drop shipping model. Yeah.
The question is this. So when you talk about warehouses, you talk about manufacturers sending their goods to these warehouses. One, is there a limit to the kind of goods that will be in those warehouses? That's one. So when I say limits to the kind of goods, do you get me perishable goods there? Secondly, what's the level of liability? Did you consider the liability your company might be exposing itself to? So what happens where the warehouse gets burned, the product in the warehouse gets destroyed or gets expired, right? So who continues to bear liability for the product in the warehouse at that time? 3, do you consider the fact that running those warehouses will be extra cost for the company because you need to consider security, right? And so many other things. I think that's not on the warehouses. Then, so you talked about one of the things I presume to be a major selling point for the buyers that will come on your platform is safety. You mentioned safety a lot of times. And you also mentioned something called buyer protection guarantee. But I listened carefully to know how, as a buyer, my protection is ensured. Like so I'm hoping that maybe if you explain the buyer protection guarantee,
Okay.
I'll be able to understand why it is safe for me to shop.
Okay.
Then, so you talked about the amount you want to raise, which is the
Amount we want to raise, yeah.
So if I'm an investor, you talk about 100 million. First thing I'll ask myself is what's your valuation like?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think it's the first one. That is the
Warehouse.
About the warehouse. Okay, the concept of the warehouse. While we are still sourcing for fund, to have a physical warehouse. Right now we are operating what we call virtual. There's a virtual warehouse. The goods is still with the supplier, with the manufacturer. Our warehouse is virtual. So we have a deal with you. For instance, some of the local suppliers that we have is Binaton so far. We have Sims, that's Sims Nigeria, that is Samsung and all that. Okay, and there's some other brands that are coming up. We have a lot of Chinese manufacturers already. We have our team in China to facilitate shipping that within 4 to 7 days, anything you buy from China is here in Lagos. Okay, buying anything that's getting it from the warehouse, between 4 to 7 days is here in Lagos for delivery. Okay, so the goods for now, they are still with the suppliers in their own warehouse. They take the risk. The warehouse we have currently is virtual. Now, when we do our first round, 100 million can't take care of the warehouse. Okay, after that first round of the funding that we raise, in the future we hope to raise more funding that will get the goods to be on ground. That will require more logistics and more funding to get that done. So right now the warehouse is virtual. And then talking about the perishable, we don't handle perishable goods. It's only products that are not perishable. Okay, we actually have, check our website, we have about 730 categories of things that can be sold. You don't sell firearms, you don't sell perishable goods, you don't sell human parts, stuff like that, contrabands, you can't sell them. So those are the things that we have. And then mention about the buyer protection guarantee that you mentioned, why you should come to us. You see, the big e-commerce platforms that we have, if you go there to do transaction with them, you go there see a shirt that is blue. You don't really have opportunity to negotiate. I like this shade that is blue. I think it's possible that it can get me black. You understand? You can't do that. You just see it, you buy. If you can't get it, you leave it. If you are a producer of shirts, it becomes difficult for you to sell. It's only your social media platform that you can, be strong, and then you build your brand there. But people may not want to pay to you because they may think that you are a scammer when you are not. So we now, saw the gap there. We now bring the solution. Okay, so you can go ahead, build your brand and make noise on social media, but for people not to think that you're a scam, there's a third party. If you go on social media platforms, those platforms they don't promise the people doing business with you that if anything goes wrong, they will come and mediate. They don't do that for you. So we do that for you. So you tell the person, say, look, this company, they're not here. Of course, they own up the platform, so we pay to them. I will deliver. When I deliver, I get paid. If I don't deliver, the money is refunded to the person. So that is how our buyer protection guarantee works. For you, the buyer, you are paying to our company, not to the seller. You pay the seller. Of course, the party is there. All the interaction is there through our platform. The person pays, and then it gives you comfort. A lot of sellers are struggling. They are suffering for the pay on delivery. Pay on delivery is a big issue for sellers also. A lot of them don't want to even dabble into it. They rather allow the business they do to go than for them to do pay on delivery. So we provide the solution. We now come as a mediator between intermediary. We provide escrow, of course. Escrow has been there, okay? So we hold the money in trust for the between the buyer and the seller. They only take 2% from the seller's aspect, not from the buyer. so that we encourage the buyer to always come. Today he buys shoe, tomorrow he will come and buy chair, another day he comes to buy this thing without spending anything extra. So that is how it works. But I like your feedback. We are here to get feedback on how we can improve, of course.
My last, I apologize.
Yeah.
My last question remains unanswered, which is evaluation.
Yeah. Okay, evaluation. Yeah.
Then, my question as to the warehouses, it really doesn't matter whether you're doing it now or it will be in the future. It's an existing risk.
Yeah.
Right. So you ask a lot of questions like, how many warehouses do you need to have in Nigeria? How many are you looking at? So if it's in Lagos, are you looking at how many warehouses do you need to have in Lagos to be able to maybe match your delivery time and things like that?
Yeah.
And of course, maybe we need to talk about warehouses. You also need to talk about possibility of running the delivery, maybe having your own bike run delivery.
Yeah.
So this is an additional
Cost.
right? Which could yield, maybe perhaps yield revenue, but then you know that running logistics itself has its own rates.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing this out here, so it's something you and your team would have to.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Like one of the latest person that is just joining our team is someone from logistics industry, because we are already building up towards that. Thank you very much for that feedback. And then for the evaluation, you mentioned, yes, you asked the evaluation. We have our figures, our spreadsheets, of course, for interested investors. For interested investors, we look at what can possibly from what we evaluate. Okay, please, the second to the last slide. The next slide. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it is estimated that if you get 100 million naira from estimate, within 5 years, we can generate a revenue of 12 billion naira. Yeah, we have financial persons, financial people. We have a team of people, analysts. It's a business opportunity. Now, that is in the industry. Sometimes you look at the industry and what is possible. As I said, this industry that we took time, we look at what is possible, creating the market and what can possibly come out. So with that money, yeah. So when we mention about the evaluation, we look at what there's a prospect in the business and what we have done. We look at the market, how large is the market, what can possibly the future of the market. So we look at those possibilities. Okay.
All right. So Chris, you have a question?
Yeah.
Yes, so sorry, my question. I just wanted to shed more light on what you said.
Okay, sir.
About the money-back guarantee. He was asking the question that why is selling to the seller instead of the buyer? Right?
Okay.
And I just wanted to collaborate what you were saying.
Okay, sir.
If one of the things about products online, especially shirts, clothes, I'm always scared. I'll get getting the wrong size or even the wrong quality of material, things like that. Right? But if the seller can guarantee me that I don't need to know what you guys are doing at the back end. Right? I don't need to know whether you're taking 2% from them. But it's something you're presenting to them and saying, buyers will have more confidence in you if you take this particular product. Right? I personally will be thinking about more businesses I could have lost that I can get, and that 2% I should give to you. Right? So I actually think it makes sense, and if you can solve that problem, especially if the people you have on your platform are the guys that are really selling those products, right? That would be amazing. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, I think you had a question.
Yeah. All right. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
That's good. Knowing that e-commerce in this part of the world is not, I don't think it's really growing.
It's still emerging.
Yeah. Even people still having shop in Jumia, they're still yet to grow into one of these stuff. And this, I think your target audience for sellers now are these small business owners that are making sales on WhatsApp and Instagram and all that. I think to ordinary users too, and like from the purchase
buyers.
Buyers.
Okay.
I think I still somehow prefer to go on Instagram, the his account with going to Instagram and saying, oh, this vendor, I need this product, do you still have it and all of that. And on WhatsApp too, it's actually comforting to some extent. But I think where it makes more sense is where you say buyer's guarantee. So if I come to your platform now, there's going to be buyer's guarantee. But my question here is, what's your user or buyer acquisition strategy to the extent that you will be able to get more people that Jumia, the likes of Jumia and Canada have been unable to get to use their platform? What's that strategy that you want to use to beat them? That's my question.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, every product has its own market. Funny, I've always been an entrepreneur for a long time. Yeah, today we have e-commerce. I'm coming to the question. We have the POS driven everywhere. 2009 to be specific, Nigeria migrated from using magnetic stripe card to chip and pin cards. 2009. That was April 2009. That same month, January that year, I started a company. Okay, we're into cards. Okay, I already was foreseeing, that is from what is happening in Nigeria was the first country to start chip and pin card because of the fraud. This thing, and it started April 2009. I interacted with InterSwitch that year. I incorporated a company to issue card, and suddenly InterSwitch drove the chip and pin card and all that. So we developed a card, we call it discount card, and it was to go with POS. We're looking at the card. Yes, people would like to use the card, but how do we drive it? How do we use it? ATM were not everywhere, and the banks, how we integrate the other people. We had a lot of meeting with InterSwitch, with First Bank. I was targeting to use the bank, First Bank, Samasabia House, 9th floor. We're having several meetings with InterSwitch, with First Bank team, with my company's team. So we strategize that POS will push POS to local communities, that is the unreached platforms. And then the card will make it prepaid. Someone don't need to go to the bank to get the card. So the card will be packaged the same way ATM card comes in an envelope. So our marketers will take it out there to community. So you can stay in your house, sign up wherever, you fill the form. Then, apps were not there then. So you fill the form, the marketer take the form back to the bank. You get the card there. Within a few hours, it's activated for you. And POS drives it. It's so unfortunate I couldn't get investors then. So you couldn't drive that. Now it is everywhere. That was a strategy. Now we have a strategy to drive the people. A lot of people are not buying from Jumia. A lot of people are buying. Jumia, Konga, they have their target market. People that are doing their lots, millions are not even going there. So we actually have our strategy of penetrating these people and getting them. Of course, that's why we even need to do it weekly. Yeah, we look at the funding. So we have the experience, we have the strategy in place to onboard these people. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
My question is, if I pay 13,000 naira
Okay.
as a seller,
Okay.
what do I get?
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. If you pay 13, there's no right now. There's no specific package that is actually 13. It's average.
Right.
So you pay 13,500 naira. What do you get? Yeah, one, you get positioning because you are selling on the market. You are getting a store. If you are on free, you get a store in the market. If you pay, now your business will be promoted. Of course, when someone comes to doeba.com, it's landing on the home page. Yeah, so that and even in the home page, positions matters. So within the platform, your product is going to be showcased. You benefit from that. Okay, you also have the benefits of we advertise on Facebook, Google, and all that. It is the sellers that are on premium. We don't have anything to sell except our name. And when we go there to sell, we must go with product to sell. So instead of you spending money to promote, you may do it. So it is your product, because you are paying, that we push, that people see being promoted on Facebook, on wherever that we are advertising. That's why you make the payments. Not only that, depending on the payment package that you have, we have a team. Of course, our developers are working towards automating it. That we produce contents for you to use on your social platforms, video contents and graphics contents for your. So those things comes with the payments that you make. We make your marketing very easy, building your brands easy, driving traffic to your own store for sales. So that's
Question.
yeah.
So if start thinking about scale, how can you scale that? Because now you have 200 sellers there, right? And let's say 15 of them are on premium.
Okay.
Then we get to a point where you have 2 million people on premium. How do you do that? How do you start to market for them, create videos for them, etc.? That's not what I mean.
Yeah, as I said, we took time, we innovate.
Right.
How did Alibaba do it, and how are they doing it? When I started, I said we are building the Alibaba for free. For me, Alibaba started to be that is our role model. How did they do it? So this thing, we discovered that there's possibilities, of course. Even though we have 5 million of them, 100 million of them, the system. Thank God, now, when Alibaba started, it did not even have AI. Artificial intelligence was not there. So all that can be done with artificial intelligence.
So that
We
means
have figured it out.
There isn't really like an answer to the question yet.
Yeah. So how do
There
we?
isn't really an answer to the question yet.
There isn't.
You don't have
Isn't
an
really
answer
an answer
to the question.
yet.
That's how do we?
How do you scale?
That's when we have a lot of.
People paying premium. Because even with the premium right now,
Yeah.
I'm not like 100% convinced to get premium because of that. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if I'm going to get the premium, right, I already am doing some sort of marketing by myself already, right? And every other platform, almost every other platform that exists, I'm not sure there is any place where they pay. Maybe if there's a place they pay, there will be something that they're getting, maybe like a landing page or something. But what you're talking about right now, maybe, okay, let me give you an example. Like, it's possible for them to brand a page, right? Without your branding, that's the branding of Duiba or something. Make it like them for themselves, etc., right?
Yeah.
But what you just told me now for premium is not going to convince me to pay that money.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, and then of course the question of scale then comes in, and then it can be a problem. So I'm just saying, like, from the
We actually have the sellers that we have from experience that we have. An average seller will not even want to go for the free package, because if you take the free package, he need to do the extra work. Okay, I did not mention this about like uploading the products to the platform. You already have your products. That's work. Yeah, they are busy. They are focusing. So we help them from onboarding, that's setting up their store. You have to be on premium to get that done. Not only that, driving traffic. Yes, there's a marketplace traffic, but your store is just there. Someone have to navigate. Go to the category menu and click and then search before it comes to you. But if you are on premium, your product is already showcased there. As the person is navigating the site, your product is showing. Not only that, we don't have anything to sell, as I said. That if you are having your own store by yourself, you will need to pay to Facebook, to Google, to do adverts to get extra traffic. But if you are on premium, we take your product. Of course, what is shown in those adverts is your product, and clicking it is landing on your store. Your store is already on our market. Yeah, so once a person lands in your store, in our market, it's already on the platform. That's what we want. If you are selling eyeglasses, it's possible that the person may want to check out shoes. They want to check out television. They want to check out a phone charger. But the landing place is your own online store. So that gives you a very big benefit why you should pay rather than just remain in the marketplace. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. No.
Just wanted to ask, you said you already exist and you have users already.
Yeah.
So how many people are on the platform now? That's the first question. How many people are on the platform? How much have you been so far? What's the revenue like? You also look at the cost of acquisition of users. Like how much have you spent so far to get to this stage? That's the number of people on the platform. Then also with regards to the number of teams, can you highlight like how many, who are the principal members basically of the team? What are their roles?
Okay. You mentioned about users. How many users that we have already? We're not really running much. The key benefit that the sellers, I mentioned about the sellers, and they are part of one user segment, the sellers, about 200 of them, okay? There are segments of the users that we have. The key benefit that they have is it makes it easy for them to close deals rather than remain on like GG. Yes, we have paying, as I said.
They pay 13,500.
Yes. So far, accumulative income we have generated from the sellers, from these sellers, we have hit over 5 million. Yeah. We started 2022 last year, July. We launched out July last year.
5 million.
We have different. We have packages a year. For instance, you have people that take it and pay a year up to 300,000 naira. Yes, because in a now the buyers is the other end. We as a company, we are not doing so much. We are seller specific in the traffic. In generating traffic to their online store. Okay, we are looking for the funds that we have. We are spending on the product. We've been spending on the products. Right now, we are talking to investors. So we are averaging monthly traffic of just about 2,500 as at last month. Yes, 2,500, but it's not much. The key transactions. The sellers, the sellers. They are closing. What I discover is some people even feel comfortable to pay to them because they are there. That's at the end of the day, seeing their products. Because of that free, the guarantee. Even when I discover one thing, even when our main income is not the 2%, even when we are letting the people know that, look, until you make payments through the platform, you don't get the guarantee. They're like getting comfortable, and we don't have any record of scam anyway. What our tech people are trying to do now to build is to really flag it across the platform, yes, about the need for them to pay through the DC. But what attracts the sellers that we have is that guarantee, that's buyer protection, which the buyers enjoy. That's what attracts them. Then you ask another question, sir.
Yeah, what's your cost?
Sir?
The team.
Okay. The core team is first of all myself and the developer and the code, the person writing the code. Okay, sir. Two, and then a third person joined us. From the finance and strategy. Background. So those are the team that we have, the core team that we have, and then we have. We are recruiting a set of people that we are training. Of course, those ones are workers, e-commerce consultants. Yes, the people that handle the users, the sellers acquisition.
Can I make comments on this slide?
Please.
So, like for instance, with regards to the team, what investors typically look out for? First, the financials, with regards to the number of users, the ARR.
Yes,
user acquisition costs and all those. Then with regards to the team, you have to also highlight each person, like their role, their background, so I think we can research them so that we know that they have industry expertise. If you can work on this, like with regards to the product, it's fantastic.
Okay.
Full function, and back guarantee. So that itself is competitive in that sense. Offers an opportunity to market space. And there is also the issue of regards to the market saturated already. We have Jumia, we have Konga, we have Gigi, and we have Amazon coming into Nigeria. So what are you going to offer that is basically different? I think you should also
we are different from them.
I think you should also focus on the money back guarantee, how you can make that better, and also the service to escrow, like holding the funds before you pay and before you put and into I think that is also
Okay. So just to add to what he said. So at first he was asking 3 or 4 major questions.
Okay.
How many buyers do you have? Or how many people have bought on your platform? How many sellers do you have? What's the cost of acquisition? And I think the fourth one was the team. So you didn't answer any of them directly, which is very important. How many customers do you have? 10,000 customers. How many sellers do you have? 20 sellers. So what's your cost of acquisition? 20 naira per customer. That's actually how you answer that question. And his comments are very important because your slide doesn't really have anything. So if you send your deck to me, I'm not going to do extra work outside what I see on this deck. So I saw a very funny tweet. people submitted resumes, and the HR divided it into two. Threw the other one and said that they can't hire people that are unfortunate. If you send me a deck like this and I glance through it, so investors spend, I think, about 2 to 5 minutes on your deck. Within 5 minutes, I can't find anything that makes me interested in your product enough. So for example, you're asking for 100 million naira and you're telling me that you're guaranteeing me 12 billion naira revenue. Have you heard of Jumia? So Jumia, for example, has raised, like, if I'm not wrong, at least $1 billion.
Yes, that's a billion.
Over $1 billion.
Yeah.
And you want to raise 100 million and you're guaranteeing me 100 million naira.
I mean, this one in naira, yeah, Jumia in dollar, yeah.
Yeah, you want to raise 100 million naira.
Yeah.
Jumia will blow you away because your money is like this is just like the advertising revenue.
It's not even up to advertising revenue.
Okay, thank you. So you can't be guaranteeing me 12 billion naira without showing me how to get to 12 billion naira. Do you get? Yeah. We are available for further discussions. The money will be used for growth. What percentage of this money? So I'm doing like a roundup because we can't take any other questions. Yeah. How much of your money will be used for growth? Yeah. How much of it will be used for operations? How much will be used to strengthen your product? What does strengthening your product look like? So these are very, very important questions. You've spent substantial amounts. So total market from 2019 to 2022, talked to over 1,000 SMEs. What is the result of speaking to these guys? Because you're not very, very clear. Yeah. We've onboarded over 100 sellers. Okay, good. Because it's important that you're showing us your traction. I asked you how much. They asked how much you've made. 5 million naira in 1 year. If I look at it, I'm going to be asking myself, what's 5 million naira? Is that actually how much you've spent on your platform? Okay. Is that how much you yourself made in revenue? Because what's the profit on all of that? Because it's important that you're showing that. I'm trying to go back to the previous slide. Sorry, can you go back to the previous slide? Okay, you're clear on how you make. You're very clear on how you make money. The comment on this is that your 13,000 monthly subscription feels like it's too small, but it's something you have to figure out. 2% transaction fees is okay. Sorry, the next one. You're a global market for SMEs. Sellers on Dribble get okay. All right. So when you say you're building the building the Alibaba for Africa, Alibaba had to start in a country, China, that has over 1 billion people. And you're starting in Nigeria. Nigeria has 220 million people, depending on who you ask. Some people say we are less than that. So we are so poor that your president is about to give us $10. He's about to give Nigerians $10 per month. An entire Nigerian family. Yes, 8,000 naira is roughly $10. So that's to show you, if they can give you $10, am I going to use my $10? What am I going to buy on your platform? That's going to factor. So whether you are different from Junior, Konga or not, it doesn't really matter. What will make me spend money on your platform? What are you doing better than the others? Yeah. There are people, like he mentioned, there are people who just want to stay on Instagram. How do you make me leave Instagram and come to Doriba to sell? You said something else that if I land on Doriba, so unfortunately we can't open your website. If I land there and I have to find a particular buyer, let's say you have 10,000 people who get to Doriba, sellers, 10,000 sellers. How do you ensure that all these 10,000 sellers get enough visibility for them to get enough value to come back to you? Yeah. Do you get? Yeah. So without showing me all of these things, and your slide has a lot of text, so make it very easy for people to just scan through. It has a lot of text, so now I have to read, and I do not want to read. We were talking earlier about people who don't want to read. I really do not want to read all of this. So make it very, very easy for someone to, at a glance, understand what you do, why they should care about what you do, and the progress that you have made. So I think, sorry, can you go back to the last slide? Okay, so I think that covers everything. All the questions that were raised are very, very important.
There was no question about how you handle logistics.
How you handle logistics.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. Yeah, beautiful.
You don't have to answer that.
But we do through a third party, a 3PL. We actually have, I don't know, we have a pitch deck. Okay. I thought that's what I said to you. Exactly, we actually have a pitch deck. Yeah, that that has the pictures that would have spoken this, and then also how we make the money, the details. We have detailed 5 years detail that for interested investors to answer how, that's in details, how we make the money, how we get there. Our strategy of marketing, our marketing strategy, we have our marketing plan. Different from Jumia, we're not going to do billboards like Jumia, we're not going to do that. So we have our strategy on how we enter the market without billboards. Jumia is very heavy on billboards, all those things. That's what drains them. We understand Jumia, that's where they are going, so we are not going that route. Yes.
So that's
so we actually have that.
It's very important you show this. So the reason we do this is this is probably going to be your first time pitching your solution before any audience.
Yes.
So we tend to ask a lot of very important questions, and the next time you see someone, also it's also very important for you to try and make your pitch as short as possible.
Okay.
So that people have, like, you don't waste too much time on it. So I think with that, any other person who has questions can always meet him after, and then you can ask questions or make any recommendations. So thank you so much for coming.
Please, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for your feedback.
Okay, so the next person coming up is Julius, and he'll be pitching Intensify. So Intensify.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my first time pitching. Okay. My name is Julius Osilama. I'm the founder of Intensify Africa. Intensify Africa. Sorry. My name is Julius Osilama. I'm the founder of Intensify Africa, but next week I'll become a co-founder. So, notwithstanding. So we are equipping the Africa workforce with virtual and physical internship. We understand that there is problem in the aspect of people getting technical skills in Africa. And we have 420 million Africans that cannot access internship.
So can you raise your voice, please?
Okay, 420 million people that cannot access internship from higher learning institutions, which are polytechnics, college of education, and university, simply because of lack of opportunity by private sectors and public sectors. So we are looking at, according to UN rank of 13,837 higher learning institutions in Africa admit approximately 60 million undergraduates. We are looking at the market space here. We are looking at, I sent my old pitch deck, sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for that. Is it possible I send a new one? So I don't know. Sorry. Sorry, I thought I did this. Sorry.
Can you go ahead?
I can use the other one.
Yeah, please use this one. It's going to take a while to convert another.
Okay. We're looking at 420. Sorry, let me work with this. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, the American Business School estimated that by 2030 there will be shortage of skilled worker in Africa, and that is going to affect startup business because you are looking to employ a skilled individual, and you are not going to get that. So what we are doing, we are bridging the gap to provide technical skills to Africans, and we are looking at not just tech skills. Like my boss is here, Mr. Adewola. We are looking at all career field, HR, business development, data analytics, data science, and so on. So I didn't start Intensify Africa because I want to go into tech. It was my pain. So 8 years ago, where I was done with school, my parents were staying at Agbara, and I was looking for a job at that time. So if a friend of mine reached out to me, okay, there's an internship job in an oil and gas company, which I said, okay, no problem, I have to. And at that time, they are staying at Agbara, close to Cotonou Seme, if you know that as. And I was going to Lekki every morning. So I have to wake up 3:30 a.m. in the morning. So by 4:30, I am at the bus stop to catch up with the staff bus. So that has been my problem. I did that for HR. I worked for HR for a year and 7 months. So later on, due to my performance, I was given opportunity to work in business development in that same company. So I have to spend 2 years in business development. Join those years together at 3 years and 7 months. During this process, waking up early morning at 3:30 was my pain. I was thinking if I can see a way any platform I can do a remote internship, just with my phone, I can gain this skill set, but it wasn't forthcoming. And those platforms I saw online are quite expensive. So I was okay, let me just see. But later on, I gained another job to another company, which I worked. So before I started Intensify Africa, so that was my pain because I believe that at that time working as an human resources, people will come and they are not getting job due to lack of experience. They will say, how many years of experience you have? They'll say, no, I don't have experience. So that has been the limiting factor affecting undergraduates and graduates in Africa. So that's the problem we are addressing at Intensify Africa. So the solution we are providing access to internship to all career field, not just tech. So basically, the career field we have in Africa, people are going into tech. It's good. But the fact that it's nobody that have that passion or have that zeal to go into tech. So we are giving Africa the access to follow their career dream and achieve their purpose. So I'm sorry, this is the old pitch deck. Sorry, okay. I want to look at our numbers so far. So we have received on 2,409 applications. And in terms of revenue, we have raised 36K in revenue, and we have accessed 27 countries, not just Nigeria, people that have applied on our platform from Kenya, South Africa, UK, and US. So that's our market scope at the moment. We have gotten 82 weekly engagement in terms of engagement to our platform. And we also received 858 enrollments, which is 28 conversion rate. It's poor because we have to engage people, because people are not just new in terms of virtual internship. They'll say, why should I do virtual internship? I need a physical engagement. So we are convincing the mind of people, okay, we can give you that practical real life experience that you can go to office and get. We can bring it to you at home. So we have received 32 employed interns. So what we do at Intensify Africa, we employ our intern. So basically we are like giving them the real work activities. The professional we have at Intensify are people that work in different sectors. So we bring the office space and we bring it to them. So for partnership, we have 2 years. So that's the reason why I say I send the old deck. So it's 4 we have in terms of partnership. So we run our internship on different service. We do the foundation work, we do the basic in terms of CV writing and so on and so forth. We go into corporate and we look into supervisory. We go into the management entrepreneur. So the aspect of entrepreneur, we understand that business is more important too. Even though you are doing 9 to 5, there's need for you to be more knowledgeable about the business space. So we bring that into our space. So we also do the physical internship where we assign our interns to companies. So at the moment we have partnership with, okay, so this is not this old one, sorry. We have partnership with Jobberman, and we also have partnership with some companies that we assign our intern to. So we have, our intern have gotten jobs, so we are looking at our competitor. I wish I have to send this here, so I don't know. Sorry, this is the old one, it's paining me. So we have our competitors that provide tech skills. We also have Otta School, so my guy is here. So we also have that. We also have university. We also have schools, but basically what they do, they provide tech skills. But we don't do only tech skills only. We do different career. We do HR, we do virtual assistants, we do, because we believe that people need to go after their career skills. So basically for that, how do we want to sustain, because this is a very old one, sorry, that's the reason why. In terms of sustainability, we look at customer acquisition. Sorry. Okay, we look at customer acquisition and for us to grow. And we're also looking at profitability, and we're also looking at sustainability, and we're looking at, we also partner with companies. So partnership, like I mentioned, we have partnership with Yabatech. We just have a partnership with Yabatech to provide the student access to internship. And we also have partnership with Laspotech now. So for us to give student access to internship. And we have Jobberman, like I mentioned. Okay, this is the team. So let me move straight to the team. So this is I myself, which I have experience in human resources and business development. My CTO, Wale, in charge of the website, and Messi. I also have Otuko in charge of the media. I also have Adiola, that's the legal aspect for Intensify Africa. So at the moment now, we are trying to raise it, but I thought of as the right thing to do is to look for partner, which I have a co-founder now. So I will be helping in terms of gaining the international traction and the local traction. So that is that. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So we'll start with a question. Okay, more like a comment from our online audience. Big problem, but method of execution could be a problem, I believe. So you don't have to respond. It's just a comment. Okay. So we'll take questions now. Okay, let's start with you.
All right. What else?
We have to.
I think I love this idea. Since that, I think last week I was, seeing particular trend on Instagram. I was following comment section, and people were complaining on how difficult it is to get internship in Nigeria now, especially those in the tech space. Yeah. Right. I think we are even getting to almost a place where we are going to be paying companies to do things in there. So I think we are solving a real-time problem. But my question is, I don't know how this came to my mind, but then my question is, you will be dealing with a lot of jerseys that will be working in companies. Now, the way these jerseys work in companies these days, even millennials don't understand. Okay. Right? Okay. Even we don't understand the way they work now. How will you ensure that don't let me say all of them, some of these people will not soil the good name that you are trying to do with these companies, because they are not working with you directly, they are working with third-party companies. So if you fix them to a particular company for them to intern, how are you going to ensure that you follow up on them and ensure that they don't start soiling the good name you are trying to do?
Okay, the first thing we do at Intensify, we do virtual internship for 5 months. So during that virtual internship, we take them through the process of different career and we build them before we assign to physical internship. But we don't just assign individuals to physical or entry level. We also have what to do like an assessment. We assess the intern. We assess them first, make sure that they are in terms of job delivery. Our program also going aspect of projects. We also do projects. So make sure that they deliver on time. All those criteria we put in place are the measure we use to make sure that these guys can deliver, they can work for you. So we also reach out to tech startup. We also send them young individuals who have the experience to deliver the job. So we are not just sending someone that says, I have experience. We are sending someone that have portfolios that will show you this and what I've done while working at Intensify Africa.
Okay, so someone asks, how do you get companies? The companies that your interns have to work with, how do you get them?
Okay, for company, I reach out to tech startup or company that need interns. So for us now, we are not taking money for these guys. I'm going to supply you experienced individual for free. So that's how we get attracted to company. And to company, the aspect of you spend money to outsource, get the right talent, getting the right fit is very difficult. So we help you to do all those work and give you the right fit of individuals to work with you.
Okay. So earlier, in your slide, you talked about 36K revenue. How have you gotten to that point? 36K revenue, and you provide these employees or these employers with interns for free, right? Yeah. So how do you make money? Okay,
the intern get to pay us. They pay us to intern. So they pay yes, they pay. Yes, you pay. You pay to intern. Yes, you pay to intern. Yes. Okay. Reason why I say this is that, for instance, if it's free, because we are doing virtual at the first stage, so that's what we do. We give you the skill that you need, because getting access to internship in companies is very difficult. I know how difficult it was to me. I was earning 35,000 naira, which I worked for like a year and 7 months. But those money, I was spending them on transportation and feeding. So if an intern can pay 10,000 naira for per month, it's a monthly subscription, and we have people that have intern with us, and they are paying consistently. So yes, they get to pay and they intern, and we also give them that aspect of getting an entry-level job.
Wait, so a follow-up question. So, are the companies mandated to pay using this?
Okay, when we assign them to company pay them. Because
are they mandated to pay them?
yes, sure, yeah.
Sorry, can I
Yes.
thank you. So, I think it's actually a fantastic idea, but I'm still trying to see how I want to take it up from viewing it as workforce. I mean, workforce management, right? The outsource people, right? But again, the major thing I'm even focusing on is the numbers, right? From the first slide, I think you mentioned something about an unemployed group of 400 something million, right?
420.
420. Is that for Africa or?
That's for Africa.
That's for Africa.
From
And
15 to 35 years.
Yeah, so that's for Africa. And you
From
have
age range.
partners and the revenue of
Is that it?
$6,000 with 4 partners. So, and you say you only have 32 placements. So how does 32 translate into $6,000? That's a lot.
Okay, like I look at our numbers, the numbers I mentioned are people that have intern. For the placement are the intern that we have assigned out to companies for entry-level job. That are the 32. No.
Okay, so what I want to know is,
Okay.
right, your numbers does not add up to your revenue. So is there other means of, getting this?
Okay. In the beginning, I made an apology that I sent the old pitch deck. So, in terms of that, like, we look at the application, people that have applied for Intensify, 2,409 people that have applied for our internship. So, for the revenue we have made, which we project, sorry, I don't know. Yeah, of it. So at the beginning, intern pay, so from different countries, some pay naira and dollars. So that's the money we use to equivalent the money we have made for the number.
Applicants pay at the beginning.
They pay, yeah.
So these 2,409 applicants are paid already.
Yes.
Even before placement.
Okay, sorry.
But how long has it been? How long has the company been, like, from when you launched?
Okay, let me explain that. We do virtual internship. You are looking for internship to gain practical skill sets. You pay, and we'll give you that skill set that you need, the talent, which is duration for 5 months.
So when you say pay to give you skill sets,
Yeah.
are you like pay to get trained?
Yes.
Okay, so they pay to get trained, and then you put them in jobs.
Yes.
Okay. Then yeah.
No, the job, we assign them for company entry-level job. They don't get to pay us anymore.
So we're trying to understand. So I pay to get on your platform and get trained.
Yeah.
How much?
10,000 naira.
10,000 naira.
Per month.
Oh, okay.
Monthly subscription.
For how much? For 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months.
So that's 50,000. That's 50,000
50,000 naira.
Okay, so and you don't get. Okay.
That haven't gotten placement.
Yeah. So after I get a placement, do I still have to pay?
No, you don't get to pay.
Okay.
The company gets to pay you salary.
Okay.
Based on you are working for them. The company don't pay us.
Okay.
Company don't pay us.
Yeah. Good question.
Okay, for the placement in terms of guarantee, we don't give our intern 100% guarantee. But the fact that come again. Okay,
So that's coming. So I think your business model, right? Your business model to change from how you're presenting it to the reality.
Okay.
Right? The reality of your business model is you are an academy, but you look for how you can get placement for your students. Because if I judge by your numbers, it's very impossible that if the total number of people here, right, enroll in your academy, you'll be able to place us with just 4 partners.
right? Jobberman on their own, right? I could go there and see Jobberman and get a job.
Yeah.
Jobberman do soft skill training, right? And I can get certificate for free, right? I can jump into Jobberman's pool. Why am I in the pool? Because we will have partnership with them. So I could jump the whole queue and get a placement. But with your partner, you really can't give so much persons that placement. So just say that you're offering skills, right, that will lead to the marketplace. That placement that because the whole placement is the forefront of your presentation, and I'm not sure that's reality of the business model.
No.
And the skills soft skills, right?
Yes. We provide technical skills, not soft skills. We provide technical skills and soft skills. That's what we do. Good evening.
So, coincidentally, about 2 days ago, there was a little argument between the lawyer and I. So, and the argument was whether law firms are meant
Should
to
pay interns.
students interns. I mean, that argument went on for some time. So, while I was listening to you, a lot of things kept going through my mind. So, from your response to the last speaker, it's obvious that your business model is different. Like what you're providing is training, right?
Okay.
So I'm asking myself, do you have the capacity to train a law student or a law school graduate? Do you have the capacity? Does your company have the capacity to train a law school graduate such that? And then why would a law firm? Perhaps please, why would I want to take someone from your platform? Like, from where I come from,
Yeah.
I don't see how that can be possible. Do you understand? I mean, that's a concern. Then for my question, so in the course of answering this question, I began to ask myself, at the point these students are paying you, what do they have at the back of their minds? Like what's the message of personal trust? Are they paying with the understanding that the moment I'm done with this, I'm going to get a job? Right? I mean, you're saying it there, you're saying you're going to give them 100% guarantee, but do they understand that there is no guarantee to that getting a job is not a guarantee? Because Nigeria is really hard right now. And for someone to run a 5-month course, pay 10,000 every month, there has to be a valid expectation. So at the point of payment, is it their understanding that they would likely not get this job? Or are they working with the understanding that yes, at the end of this period, I'm actually going to get a job? That's one. Two, what percentage of your interns have actually gotten jobs? And probably in what places? Because there's a difference between someone who probably works at KPMG and someone that works maybe somewhere else, right? Now, what companies are you in partnership with?
Okay.
So what companies are you actually in partnership with? How many of them are you in partnership with? What's the kind of partnership you have with them? Is it clear to understand that they will take 10 people from you every 5 months, 2 people from you every 5 months? Do you understand? And this is very important because if people are paying you to enroll, you understand that they're going to get jobs. You need to know whether you have enough job placements to be able to satisfy the market that is growing. Then
is it possible I take your question one after the other? so that. Okay. The first question, please. Can you?
Let me see if I wrote it down. I think it's the Gen Z question. Okay. Is there another one? I think she's using it.
Okay.
So you have the capacity to train.
Oh, this one has a
So all those lawyers now.
Okay, the Gen Z question.
And then bearing in mind that there are certain career paths that actually require physical internships.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Okay, not all. So in terms of the law, no. Medical, no, but we also have data science too. So in terms of fitting our internship, that's the reason why I say I use the old model, because my partner is one of the directors in university in UK. So we are building a system where it's going to fit into companies' demand in terms of global need, need of talent. So that's what we are trying to do, to fit in what we have, their curriculum, in terms of real work activities to what is going to suit the student. So that in the aspect of getting placement, it's more visible, it's more clearer, because we are giving them skill set that is relevant to today, not skill set that is relevant yesterday. Okay, sorry.
I won't delve so much into that.
Okay.
So the second question is, what percentage of your interns have actually gotten jobs, and how many companies are you actually partnering with, and what's the arrangements like?
Okay, for the company partnership, we assign our intern to them, either for physical internship or for entry-level roles. So company, like I mentioned, I also reach out to tech startup that we have young, talented individuals for entry-level job. That's what we do at the moment.
Sorry. So how many of the interns have actually gotten roles?
Okay, for the numbers, we actually 8 at the moment. Yes, 8 at the moment. So we had for the last enrollments who they'll be done. They are going to be told this month. 56 of them. So yeah.
Okay.
Just to clarify, you mentioned that there are about 2,000
Yeah. Okay. The reason why I said it, you could during the process, some get to drop out. So that is the model that we are trying to define, whereby as we have those numbers, those guys keep like subscribing to the program. So we are also fitting that in place.
So, just to clarify, if we drop out of the program at any moment, we don't get to, let's say, get placements in the company or in that time. And you said basically after 66 now after the program, am I correct?
66,000.
No, 66, just 66.
So
56, yeah.
Just graduated.
okay.
Just graduated. And you have partnerships with just 2 companies.
4 companies.
Four. Sorry.
So how do you intend to solve that problem, placing them in companies, given that you're really promising them that at the end of the internship program, this will get placements in companies? You already mentioned that you're talking to startups, to things to what the companies do. So you have to deliver on that promise actually. So maybe, yeah.
We don't make promises that we are giving you a job. Like, sorry, let me come back again. So we don't give 100% that we are going to give you a job. But we use our connect to make sure that our intern gets physical and entry level job. So that's how we operate.
Can you just tell me what the training looks like? Because you mentioned internship.
Like process.
And internship means that they are basically getting job experience. Not
Yeah.
necessarily learning like the skills. They are getting like job experience that they can do somewhere. So what is it like? What's like the tools? Like
Okay.
what do they learn? What's the life cycle like? Just
Okay. Like, let me say, for instance, now you.
Sorry, do you have a website?
Yes, I do. Okay. Just for instance, now you are working as an HR. So the professional we have on board are HR professionals who are currently working in different sectors. So we are talking about real life job activities, it's a prototype of what they are doing, and they bring it to what we do. Exactly.
let's talk about the numbers now. You said you have about 6,000 revenue.
Okay, so come again. That's this. No, the reason why I say I sent the old pitch deck, which we are working on. This is a new one here. So I'll come again. Okay, the right figure is 10K. Yeah, dollars. Yeah, dollars. Yes. Yes. Like, okay.
Broke down like several places for optimization of CV.
Okay.
I found it. Intensify Africa.
Let me explain something here. The 2,409 are the application, people that applied. People that applied, I didn't say they paid. People that applied application.
IntensifyAfrica.com.
So for that, in terms of people that have enrolled, in terms of paid, we paid people, we have 589. So that's the reason why I said I sent the old PJ. This is it here. So, like that. So, and which I mentioned, we have people that have paid for different countries. So your question, please.
Intern, then SIFY.
No, different countries. We have received intent for Germany, South Africa, Ghana, India, yeah, including Egypt, and some other countries we can't remember.
No, Intensify Africa. I'm coming.
Finance?
Anybody financing your team?
I do have a finance person.
Because your number doesn't somehow seem to add up. 10,000 a month, 589, that's already 5.89 million, right? Dollar is around 750. You said you made about $10,000 already. So they are from different countries, and this is just 1 month, 10,000 a month. You said you've been operating for like 3 months now. In data, I'm trying to place, the numbers to what you're saying, which I also sense is what every other person is perhaps trying to do. So one thing with numbers, I know you're trying to put numbers in your deck. Numbers can kill startups, numbers can kill businesses. If you don't know your numbers right, which you don't know your business right, or you just want to waste the time of food investors and stuff. So I think whatever number you put there, just make sure you check it all out and know how you came about the whole number. So there will not be the same jack and then G is happening. They are calculating all these things on their head. They also deal with money. I can't, for every $1 I give to you, I'm already thinking how much will I get in return. So when I start thinking of 10x on top of a 10 million something of $10,000 is very little for me to fathom, right? So you just need to be very careful with those numbers and just try to keep it up. I think that's the feedback I would kind of make.
It's not even a question. It's just like, so because what everyone has been saying here since about the whole internship thing, right? Okay. So you already have a business that's training people, right? So what is the reason why you want to place them in jobs, right? Because that's a different responsibility in itself and a different business model in itself, right? Because now the reason why I will be coming to your platform is because I want to get a job, right? So if from the beginning I know that I'm coming here to learn a skill that will get me, and people are paying for that online. People are paying to get skills online, right? Now, if they're just coming now to just pay for a skill, then that makes, some sense. Because, if you see the people who are also like getting people into internships, it's a lot of work. Even the big people right now, like Jobberman or Old School, it's not easy. You see them like really hustling to get people in jobs, right? So, what's the how are you going to now differentiate yourself? Do you understand what I mean? Like you're already fighting an uphill battle. Just like, that's what I mean.
I got you.
Right.
So okay, I think you had a question.
Yes. It's just a suggestion, and not that you lost, because we just have to launch first. Just launch. Not that you lost. We challenge each other with the PMF, the product market fit. Right. Try, don't solve too many problems. Just if you are going to train, because job offer for say I was very close to job offer, I was working to check it before, so we were in the same field. They didn't just start reviewing CV. They started just for companies to just post their jobs. Before as they grow, they started adding different products. So if for instance you want to do training for remote or for internship, which is a huge market for retail, structure your things. Make people don't think that any intern company is going to feel like, okay, I'm getting just trained. If it's HR, if it's web dev, if it's marketing, if it's whatever. Let them get that deal. Whether they get a placement from me, that shouldn't be a problem. But let them get that one model that is actually solvable, that is tangible. You can take to the market, you can take to investors, and feel like, okay, this is what we are solving. Internship, obviously there's a gap. Yeah. Most companies want to give for internship, but if you provide that, course, you have it kind of yourself. But for now, it's not the number that I'm actually.
Just to write it down quickly, sorry. I'm sorry for the because so feedback for that. Sorry that this was because in your pitch it wasn't even clear. Unless I wasn't giving attention, it wasn't clear that you actually train these things. So you need to work on the pitch to make that clear. Because when I just said you are charging this, I'm like, just for placement, it wasn't clear that you're training them. Also, like you said, just to write what you said, I think you need to first of all start with something very narrow. Because from what I'm getting, you say you give them soft skills and like general training, right? Why not something more specific so that you can guarantee what you place and then from there you build out into other things. That's just why they want to be seen.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So, your 3 months, 6 months?
No, not, okay, yeah. I started on last year, June. So December we did a test run. So we started February. Yeah. So
You want to raise?
Hmm?
You want to raise like?
I'm not raising at the moment. So
Basically, that's the feedback.
okay.
So you perceive that you want to. I feel that it's a market, right? So you're there. You're going to be voting small. So 6 months is still fresh. So you still see a lot of things that want you to the best part, right? So you now dwell on that style and see how you can do. So now it will be very hard to figure out what will work. Like if you want to do data science, if you don't know if digital marketing is calling for it, do you understand? So you might not be doing. But since you are not raising, so I will not say about the slides. So but just be clear about the roadmap. I just keep doing it. So my suggestion is that just do it. The market will lead you to where you can now push. Because now if you go back and say, okay, I want to just do digital marketing, and tomorrow you see that people are looking for product design, they are looking for product design. So you might just be everywhere trying to figure out things. So just flow. Since you are not raising, it's fine. Flow. Bootstrap and find a way around it and you get it. That's my suggestion.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we'll just take 2 suggestions because we still have one more person and we're running out of time. So, yeah.
Very easy one. Thank you for that. I was going to ask why are you pitching to us? And secondly, I feel what exactly are you training, or providing job placement, or you're providing job experience? So I feel that's what you should find out. If I just providing job experience, nobody would expect that they expect job placement. But I guess that's the definition of internship.
Yeah.
Job experience.
Yeah.
So just narrow down your.
Okay, so just to clarify something here, whether you're raising or not, you can come because if you were here earlier, I mentioned that in the financial services report we had, about half of fintechs in Nigeria are bootstrapped, so they are not raising money. And if you pay attention, you know that it's currently difficult to raise money. So the reality is that a lot of people, in fact, more people are not raising money than are raising money. So don't be deceived by what you see online. I saw a tweet today, found out that probably taking around 12 to 15 months to close a round. So if you wait until you can raise, that means you may not have a business for that period. So just to clarify, Pitch Friday for anybody, whether you're running your business with your savings or you're bootstrapping with your revenue from customers, or you want to raise, you can come around. So it's not like there's one particular audience that we are focused on. So,
okay, with this suggestion, I want to make you know about scale up.
Yeah.
The UK.
Yeah.
They have a strategy that's like similar to yours. They have a lot of interns. The interns that join them, they join for free. And what they get is the job experience. That's the attraction to them.
Yeah.
They rather charge the companies that they are being posted to. And strictly, they have a deal with the company that they don't pay. They let the interns know that they're not going to be paid. Okay, and also against their policy has a way for the companies to pay the interns. So because the interns, they are grads, they don't have money, especially in Nigeria and Africa. They are just graduating, they don't have money to pay you 10,000 naira down the line, all that is. So you consider them, but the companies already, of course, those people, of course, they should spread. So I'm just thinking maybe you look at how you work around your income, your daily strategy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
look at who you charge.
All right, so before we move to the next question, we have one question and comment from the online audience. What do you have a minimum pay for the interns that come on your platform?
Minimum pay.
Like, yeah, the minimum amount that they can be paid by the companies that hire them.
Yes, we do, from 50 and above.
50,000.
Yeah, above.
Okay. So the second question is related to the question he was asking. So I'm not exactly sure this question is for you. It's probably a question for all of us. And the person says, could this Gen Z thing be a Nigerian Gen Z problem? I live in Europe, and most young people handle big roles, including management roles, are Gen Zs, and they behave professionally. So is it a Nigerian thing? So, I mean, for people who don't have a lot of leverage in life, why are they the way they are?
Like you say, not all even Europe, I'm sure that we all see the TV now, the way some places give very well. So like you say, it's not all Gen Z's that give. So which means, especially the environment, coming to a common environment, I have a feeling that you feel that I have to behave in the best way in this particular environment. You don't want to tolerate kind of behavior.
Okay, so someone else has feedback. The person says the interns can pay after they get a job. So probably 10% of the first month or something like that.
Yes, we are trying to put put in that model. So like I said, so we want to put a system where interns don't get to pay, they get to go through the program, and later on we get our money for companies. But the fact that we need to get this assurance for companies before we get to go into that. And we look at the opportunities. We don't have more companies that want to take these guys. So that's the reason why I also have a partner in UK. So we are looking at how to channel these guys to the UK market. And so in terms of jackpot, you earn in dollars. That's our next model we are working on. So that will be fun.
Okay. All right. So okay. So we'll take one more pitch. We actually run out of time. So Ayodeji, you can come up now. No, it's not this one. I downloaded. Sorry.
764.
This one. This one.
654.
Yeah. Okay, where would you put this? All right. So go ahead.
Okay.
Is it from you? Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So my name is Ayodeji Adeusi. So my name is Ayodeji Adeusi. So what we are working on is very dark, and we are narrowing it down to work history. So what is very dark? Very dark is about verifying verifiable digital attestation on information. So on work history.
Can you raise your voice so that everybody hears? I can't hear you properly from here.
Oh, sorry. So for now we are now down on work history. So how do you verify work experience claim? I don't know how people verify right now. I know that if you claim to work at a particular organization, all we do is probably place a call or you send an email. But there's no means to automate verification as of today. And that's the problem we are solving. So now, like I said, the problem of time access. So if you can solve this, you can automate verification. So this is the solution, very dark. A cross-organization platform for automatic verification of employee status and work history claim. So this is the final output. So it works from Dangote refinery, your work history, your function. So the companies are your.
I'm going to interrupt you again. So
okay.
If we can't hear you, we won't be useful to you.
Okay.
So can you project your voice?
Okay. So like I said, this will be the final output, the verified attestation on your work experience. So this is how the interface works. As an individual, you sign in, you just make a very dark request on your work history. So the request will be sent to your organization. So the organization HR work on it, check through their record, and provide you the update. So that's what it's just like a verifiable badge. That's what you work with, but it works with time. So whenever the organization, if there is new information or new data that needs to be accommodated, probably you are promoted or you move across the organization departments. So everything will be updated real time. So currently, we know the size of the employment market is a huge market, both here in Nigeria, Africa, worldwide. So the competing system, so to verify direct access via calls, email, you can use background check agency, and you can go through physical documentation. Probably there's a letter or there's a particular certificate issued as regards the accomplishment. So, but these things are having limitation. So what we are building is a platform that collaborates all these approaches. So the unique value we are building is time efficiency, cost effectiveness, and easy accessibility. So our go-to-market strategy is, having a platform to make requests, for the organization to attend to requests, and for the verifier to check through the requests, and also partnership. So how do we achieve this partnership? So right now, we reach out to the CIPM, that's the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, who happens to be the platform for human resources professional in Nigeria. So we are having that ongoing. So as of today, we have an agreement in principle. Hopefully, by this time next week, we are ready to launch. So our business model. So it's just we charge for every request. So if an individual should make a request, we charge, we pay. You understand? So by the time we are going for full market, we'll be bringing the subscription package. But for now, we are focusing on the charge, and our revenue is just business to customer, meaning that it is the individual that pay. The organization might decide, for our current employee, probably you're having 20 employees, you can decide to pay for the 20 employee. It's a one-time payment package. So this is the team. I happen to lead the team. We have our product development executive, that's the guy in charge of the development, and we have a business development executive. So our immediate need, so what we are asking for, so we are looking out for partnership. So legal, regulatory compliance, professional or team that could partner with us to achieve all the necessary regulatory in terms of data and every other stuff. And we are looking at our digital marketing, communication, creative teams to help us push the narrative. Because right now, the partnership we are looking at is how do we get the first 50,000 VERIDAC issued. Because that's what we are looking at in partnership with the CIPM, giving them 10% of the revenue we are generating. So now, to double up and getting that, we are asking for a business loan. We are not raising investments like for now, but hopefully before the end of the year, once we are able to get the number, because getting the 50,000 is our target. So we are needing, we need a 5 million naira loan at 40% interest. Thank you.
All right. So questions, we have one already.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. The first concern that kept coming to my mind is you're playing in a field where you're working with data. So the HR position is a very sensitive position in the sense that they manage employee data. So you will not really understand how vital this is until maybe you're open to any form of litigation, right? So now, my question is this. I don't know where to start. One, HR is not meant to release any employee data to a third party, right?
Yep.
So how do you intend to bridge that gap for HR to be able to give out your data? The employee has to authorize the HR to give out the data to anybody whatsoever. So if I get a job in a new place and they want to run background checks, I'm required to give them what you call it now, a reference, a phone number, email, someone they can contact, right? That's what I am required to do. They can go a step further to contact the company directly if they want to do that. But there is an organized flow of information, right? Such that where there is a breach, there is someone that will be held liable. So as an employee, the only way this can work is if the employee authorizes the HR to enable you, a third party, run background checks on them. Right? So I don't know if you have that covered in terms of data privacy, data protection, issues around it. Then I was looking at your loan. You're asking for 5 million convertible loan, 40% interest.
No, 40% interest. So you have the convertible option. But
that's what I'm saying. So you're looking at a convertible note, maybe. Now, one, what's the maturity date like? Two, 40%. Don't you think that's too much? I think if you're converting, what will be left of your... So I think that is just way too much.
So the convertible option is that's what I said, is an option. It's not the main. So what we are looking at is just that 5 million loan for 40%. 40%.
So what if I decide to give you? What if I decide to take the option?
So if you are now taking the option of convertible, then
no, not convertible. Like I'll give you 5 million, you give me 40%.
Not equity.
No. I give you the 5 million. So let's say I give you 5 million naira, and I tell you you will pay me back with a 40% interest rate.
Exactly.
Over how much? Like what he's asking is
within 6 months.
Within 6 months.
Wow.
Who has 5 million here? Wow. If you have 5 million, meet you after. But anything that happens after, I'm not involved. You have a question.
So let me clear.
So I don't know if you get why.
I understand. The business money. So now to answer, so to answer your question about data stuff. So now this is how the model works. The employee, that is the individual, makes the request from his own HR, like from his own company, with the mindset that the HR will be the one to attend. You are making the request to the company. So we believe that the HR will be in charge of your records. So what the company does is, it's just like I work at, let's say, Techpoint, and I'll make requests from Techpoint about my function over years, my accomplishment, claim, and every other thing. So Techpoint is now issuing something like an attestation, going through their record, like, oh, true, over this period of time, you've worked here, these are the roles, these are your achievements, these are the things. So what they give to you is more like a digital certificate. So when next you are going or you are moving out or you want to show people, you just share that verifiable badge. So that verifiable badge allows them to update if there is a new information that accommodates new information. So you still have the right, you have power over your information. It is what you share that people see. I hope that attends to your question.
Okay. Sorry, who pays for
verification?
Yeah.
Is that not going to be because if you are making okay, so somebody has I don't know if you know
So bento work, yeah, I know bento. Yeah.
So they started as verified, and they started to do this exact thing, which is to verify employees. And the challenge was first of all, who should charge? Is it the company? Is it the employees? And then how do you prepare against people lying? I could fake it, and they decided that the best thing to do is to just start this process. Now that's one of the best ways to actually verify that somebody works for the company, which is this person is paying being paid salary or something like that. For example, if you are going to apply for a visa, for example, they usually ask if the company is the one they ask for a statement from your company, bank statement. So what they did is they started the first step, okay, let's start helping companies process salaries. They get a percentage of like a processing fee, and use that to build data over the years. That they now have verified data about all these companies. They will now scale into that. Because saying you are going to charge the employee, why do you charge me to verify? And then why would you tell the company to pay to? Like, I don't know if you understand. So if you can just look at that mental story, although till now I don't think they've gone back to the original. So I think they've thrown away that. So what they just do is process salaries, not process pension and all those things. But the idea was use that to generate data. They now come back to the original plan, which is verification.
So the issue here is, it is not just about verifying that you work here. It is more about verifying your accomplishment claim.
The accomplishments.
Yeah, why you work. Okay, the roles, the achievement. So now this is a verified LinkedIn.
Yeah, without, yes.
So this is a verified LinkedIn. Yeah.
People can lie on their LinkedIn.
Exactly.
Who are you charging?
So I understand where you are coming from. You are looking at who pays. So now, who pays? The individual pays. Wait, I want to explain. So the individuals pay. Also, the company can pay. Now, taking Techpoint. Wait, taking Techpoint as an instance. Let's say Techpoint is having 30 employees. Techpoint might decide to pay for the 30 employees. Oh, my employee. So the reason is this. This is the reason. It could serve as a motivation for the employees.
Why?
Wait. Motivation is, wait. I'll tell you one thing. Listen. You see so many people. Hello. There are so many people. There are so many employees today at workplace who are ready to move on at any time. They don't fucking care about the workplace. But when you know that you can always request, that you will always request an attestation from your organization. So you'll be careful of how you operate, how you move.
But people are also moving anyhow, and there are no consequences about it.
So what do you say?
People are moving anyhow. So people are stealing from on Twitter now. There's someone who has scammed his employer, scammed everybody he knows, and he has gotten jobs even after doing that. So
we are not solving all the problem.
No. I'm not saying you're solving that problem. He has scammed a previous employer, and he got another job in the same industry. So why is this a problem? Let's start with that. Why is this a problem?
You mean very dark? A problem of time and access in verifying your work history claim.
Sorry, I want to ask something, right? Sorry, I want to say, what I want to say is close to what the lawyer guy mentioned.
Okay.
So we all know for a fact that Nigeria, I don't use calm, but something related to that. But we don't have data. We're poor at data, right? So your solution, which public server or API are you integrated to that is feeding you or that you're feeding, right? Otherwise, you will fall into, you put a lot of companies into problems. The reason is this, right? If I work for you, within my contract, you've stated that I can terminate my period with you, right? Depending on our terms. So maybe I can give you 1 month or 2 weeks. If I give you that, right, it's by law that you do my reference for me. If you don't, right, then legal implications to it, right? Because I gave you the notification as stated in my contract. So the problem where I can't come back to you for reference is I just pick up and leave, right? And somebody wants to ask for reference. You do your discretion to do whatever you please, right? So that is one part. The other part I want to ask is this, right? So companies giving their data, how do you identify them from litigation? So let's assume I agree with you, right? That okay, I'll give you information of my company, of my employees, right? So tomorrow the employee comes and says, I didn't give consent for that third-party information sharing. How do you identify the company from potential problem? That's one. So maybe you can answer that.
So the person sharing the information will always be the individual.
I don't get that.
You requested for the verifiable badge. It was issued to you. You have it in your portal. So now your next point of call, you are the one sharing the link with your new company.
So how is it credible if I'm not sharing it?
So from the back end, so it is the information. The information is being updated every time. So you have those information with you. There's timestamp on it. So it's just like you can't just go and create. You know, when we talk of verifiable badge, have you seen all these digital certificates? Yeah. You know how it works. So that's how.
I think that the real problem your solution should be solving is the problem of inconsistency of place of work, right? And lying in your CV, right? That's what your solution should be solving.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of problems that needs to be solved before you get to this point, right? So see, I have an instance is, so he could be my uncle, right? He works with Union Bank, and I want to get a job at GT, and they require somebody that has experience for XYZ, right? He could do reference for me. See, people go as far as, I can tell you for free, right? People go as far as imputing the email of somebody they know in an organization that is not authorized, right? To say, oh, this person works here and I confirm. And that's it, right? So because we lack that data, that's why I was asking, which API are you going to be plugged into? If you're not, I don't see how. It's just going to mean that you're the one starting it. And again, if you're the one starting it, why should we trust you with our data?
Okay,
sorry, can you rephrase that question? The last one regarding the API.
So what I'm saying is, so we don't have any public server for employees in this country. There's no home office, right? Where you say once you finish, once an employer disengages you, they report back to that server to say XYZ person has been disengaged. So if an employer wants to verify, they go there and pick information. We don't have that. So if you're the one starting it, right? So that means you are the custodian. Why should we trust you? What regulations is informing your solution? What is the legal implication of our data with you?
So if you look at the partnership I'm requesting for, I made it clear legal regulatory compliance. So I know we have data regulation laws, so we have to factor all these things together. So when we have this team in place, a special team for legal and compliance, so we can sort all that.
I think the major thing here is not even the legal. The major issue here is how you make money. Who is paying? You have not really answered that. Who is going to make that payment? Okay, probably you should tell us how much have you made to date, and who has been paying. Maybe you tell us that we are going to understand. Okay.
So I want to ask you, can you to pay a token of 2,000 naira?
It's not about paying the token of 2,000 naira. I can pay 100,000 naira for what I came for.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's not about 2,000 naira. I don't think there's anybody in this room that cannot afford 2,000 naira. But what am I exactly paying 2,000 naira for? Do you understand? If you want to verify, if I work with an organization, all organizations always have it in their what you call employee employment letter, that okay, we give you you have to give us 1 month notification before you resign and all of that. If I give you that 1 month notification, right? It is mandatory for you to, if I need an attestation letter, it's mandatory for you to give it to me as the organization that I'm employing, right? If I'm able to collect that means I don't need you, right? So if I leave the company without following the rules and regulations they gave me, and I still need that attestation letter, it means I can't go back to that company to request for it. There's nothing a third party can do to get that attestation from them. So why do I need you as a third party to get attestation from a company? Why do I need you?
So two things.
Follow-up question.
My question
to that is, not just in Nigeria, anyway, is there anybody that does something similar? So it can also help, maybe you can draw parallels. Yeah. This person does something, this is what you're trying to do. So is there anybody anywhere in the world that does what you're trying to do?
There's an organization that is working on something like that in the UK.
In the UK?
So, sorry, but I think a lot of the questions are based on the assumption that what you're doing is new, but it's not new. You are just referred to credit to. It's a company called Verify Me that does exactly what you're trying to do. Know your employee. And the people paying are the people that want to hire that person.
So we are changing the model.
Techpoint wants to hire me. Techpoint pays Verify Me to see that, okay, Emmanuel did he actually go to the school he said he went to? Did he experience the job as Union Bank? He said he did. So that is how Verify Me works. And it's not just Verify Me, there are other people there that are actually doing it. But you started your pitch with saying that solution does not exist. It does.
No, I never said so.
I think finding this idea, we should do more research with other, we should do more research with other companies, international competitors. That would help to move it forward.
Sorry, I also want to, just to write down, I was thinking around about this. You're really solving, you said the major problem you are solving is time and access. Verify Me, for example, that you made mention of does background check, which is one of the things you said you're trying to kind of like improve. You are already aware that there are solutions.
Yeah, we have background checks.
But
We have background checks.
so, what exactly are you doing differently, right? The simple idea of having a verified CV, that's what you showed me, is like having a stamp, your stamp on my CV. I can go to Oluwole and just get somebody to do that stamp and back, and I have that done, right? So, what really are you bringing in that's completely different from what this guy does? That's one. And I think you clearly need to understand what the problem is and who really have the problem. So far, you've had that the employees don't have the problem. As far as I work for an organization, they must write me a reference. And I don't see a reason why I should pay an extra, just to get that reference from an organization that is mandated to do the same for me. The major people who have the problems are the employers who are trying to verify this in one way or the other. But what the employers are trying to verify is not even just that you worked in this particular location. It's more of like your attitude at work. What recommendation can they give? Will they allow you? Can they recommend you to continue working in other locations and things like that? It goes beyond just knowing your role, your job description, and your responsibility. It's more of like attitude and character towards work and the validation that if they get you, there's no other issues that they're going to have with you. Yes. That is what many of these HRs do. And they are the ones that have that major problem. I think if you strongly look at the people who have the main problem, then you know who you are going to charge. Don't come and charge me, even if it is 500, I don't see value in it. I will not pay for it. But if I have a pain, a problem I need to solve, which is the employers themselves trying to be very sure of all of this data, then you have a solution for those guys, and you can sell it to them at whatever price. If it is a pain for them, they will definitely buy it. Trust me, you have a very good solution. But just think around the pain, who really has the pain, and try to sell to that person. Yeah. You know?
So, you know why this is very important? Almost every identity verification startup in Nigeria has had to change the thing they started with. Almost all of them. For some reason, it feels like they start out with something in mind, they get into the market, and 3 months later they are doing something different. So there's a startup that started, and just after a while, you said you solved the issue of regulatory compliance, like when you get there. This startup has been working in Nigeria for a bit, and same identity verification, but they ran into regulatory issues with the person they did not know they would run into that problem with, and they had to pause some of their services to the extent that when I asked someone a company that they claim to be working with, they say they're not working with them. So identity verification is very important because we have the whole problem of how to verify data, or even how to get the data in the first place. So it's very important for you to find out who is going to pay for this service, who actually needs this service, because like you've pointed out, the employer is mandated to provide you with a recommendation. So that means, in a way, as an employee, you're not really that important to me. So are you serving are you serving companies who need to verify employees, or are you serving HR professionals whose jobs rely on identifying the right candidates? I don't know if you get what you're saying. So it's very important. So someone has a question online, and he said, as an individual who sends out 10 to 15 CVs weekly during job hunts, how do I get these companies to know that I'm verified? Although I think you mentioned it, but
come again.
As an individual who sends out 10 to 15 CVs weekly, how do I get these companies to know that I'm verified?
So once you have that badge, you send it. So they check through the badge. So you know how digital certificate works. you know who issue it. There's a way you can, okay, this is issued by this company since it's working from our platform. Like you said, the API, that's the technical term. I'm not the technical guy, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can assure you, we have those security ends checked. So you can know that, oh, this is issued from the very dark.
I am sure that nobody can forge.
People will always make attempts. Then that's why you have to improve. You have to improve. There's always security risk, so you just have to work around it. You can't, because of security risk, don't try to solve the problem. You solve the problem, they will tamper at it. Then you always try to beat that gap also.
Okay. So another question.
The value of that part, right? So for instance, if a KPMG, right, should publish a report of a company, and the maker and sons publish a report of a company, who should you believe? KPMG, right? Yeah. So because they've been certified with authority to do so. So if I see a KPMG badge, right, I would honor it. So what would make me as an employer honor your badge? Like, I'm just seeing for the first time. I'm just hearing your company for the first time. What would make me? So that would mean that, so necessarily going to answer it, but that would mean that you need to be in alliance with some companies that would tickle my fancy here, right? So you need to be in partnership with companies that have made name in that industry, right? Company with pedigree, right? Company with market monopoly. Like, okay, so if I hear that, oh, you're in partnership with, say, in the financial industry, you're in partnership with, say, GT, First Bank, Access Bank, I would want to take you seriously. Not because of your name, but because of the people you are affiliated with. So perhaps that's the angle you need to be looking at it. Get under some big dogs, right? So people will not be seeing you, because if you just you alone and just say very dark and somebody gives me a badge and I'm like, what is it? What does it prove? This doesn't prove anything because of, again, the name and perception.
Okay. And that question I have is there like a validity period? So like digital certificates, some of them expire after a year. So does the verification you give expire after a period, or is it, do you give it once? And if you do, like if there's a lifetime validity, how does that impact your ability to make recurring revenue?
So that's why I said for this stage, what we are looking at is charge. So the other products we are looking to onboard, but we just want to narrow it down to the work history for now. So those other products, that's what we'll now be talking about, the subscription part. But for this one, it's just a one-time fee.
Yeah, but he's saying that how long does that?
So in terms of, so it's just one time. It's a lifetime.
Okay, I have it. I have the badge now.
Yeah.
Right? How long is it valid?
Yeah, it's a lifetime validity.
It's a one-time sales.
Yeah, so all you need is probably if you need an update. Okay. Now you are currently working at this place. You've left. Probably the company is here to update the information. You can always send a reminder to the platform to seek an update. Just to update the information on the badge. That you've moved from being a current to an ex-employee.
And you're charging how much for this?
2,500.
For a lifetime.
So it's just for us to, because like everybody at point, who is paying? So you don't bring something that make it much more difficult. You just have to make it little.
It's also lifetime. And
so with time, we'll cover for the initial challenge. Yeah. So our target, our calculation, this is why, like you said, we need to work partnership. So that's why we reach out to CIPM. So CIPM, I think we're having good discussion. And our arrangement with them is just 50,000. First 50,000 issued at 10%. You know, so our calculation is with 50,000 issued, we are looking at something like around 1.5 billion naira. So 10% goes to, so we still have some fund with other part, then we can use it to develop other things and really reach out to the market without raising at the initial point.
So for numbers, right?
Yeah.
For numbers, this 2,000 once a lifetime is worrisome, right? Very worrisome. And I'll tell you why. So if with so much confidence, you've said you want 5 million naira, right, to return at 40% for 6 months, and I'm paying 2,000. I think calculated how many 2,000. How many 2,000 you collect to make 5 million?
Okay, so but the question I have now is, right now, like, is there traction at all?
So there's no traction.
Nobody has paid for the service. So that loan becomes very risky. Is anybody even going to give?
Have you launched it?
No, we are launching next week.
Next week.
Well, So,
Don't collect the loans.
So we'll just take one more question and then we'll round up.
I know. I understand.
Sorry, please, let's hear him.
So you have to be careful from the beginning. Don't say that when you get to that process. From now, you just keep it running to that. Also, with regards to verification and partnerships, I think you should look at partnering with regulators. There's the NIMC, so if you want to get data, just find a way to partner with them. With regards to getting data, you need to but you get all the Nigerians to the platform. So if they're employees, then you're not looking at specific agencies, like you mentioned the CIP, and you start looking at other government agencies to get that data. So I think that way, at least you have to do something that also sounds interesting, but also notional in that sense. So I think you should, like you mentioned, you also mentioned more consistent partnerships, and also begin to look at it so that you don't run into liability from now.
All right,
Okay.
so thank you so much. So for everyone that pitched today, I think there were a lot of very important questions that were asked, a lot of important contributions that were made, and I think you should go. So don't worry, I'll soon get out of your faces, but this is very important. There's a recording online, and I believe everybody who pitched, there were very, very important questions that were asked.
Yeah.
They were very important, basically red flags that were raised in your businesses. And it would be very important that you go check the video out, and look at all the questions that we asked. There were a lot of questions we couldn't take because of time, but it's very important that you start addressing the ones. I think everybody here had an issue with data, and we have 2 lawyers. So you can go meet them, they can explain better. Well, you guys can charge them, and you guys can charge them. I mean, it's very important because you don't want to be paying a lot of money because of a data breach or because of a lapse in how your data works. So it's very, very important that you take that to mind. So thank you so much once again for coming.
On the YouTube channel, whoever asks further questions, maybe you can still talk.
Okay, yeah. So you can drop comments for
I will respond.
Okay.
Like for my role, I will respond.
All right. So you can just go to YouTube, Techpoint Africa. There's a YouTube channel there. So just go check and drop the questions that you have. So thank you so much once again for coming, and let's do this again next month.
website is up and running since Monday. Yes, since Monday, though I just subtly changed the link on social media. The big one is the report that we've been working on since last year with Money Point is finally out. Stuff you want to know about the Nigerian financial service space is there. The regulatory authorities, regulatory frameworks, policies, insight from industry stakeholders. Just go to interpoint.co.
Keep that in your head.
Interpoint.co, and you get that and every other report that we've released. We have the FIFA World Cup report, the African Startup Funding report for 2022, and a whole lot of other ones that can access.
And while you're there, to also subscribe to Yinka's newsletter. He does not disturb every Monday, right?
It's just every Monday, just once a week. We'll give our subscribers early access to our report.
Yinka, you have a report for us.
First, new website is